here's why crash diets are setting you up for failure. If you're looking to sustain the result that you get at the end of the journey, then listen up. The reality is that when you take calories too low, and specifically not getting enough things like protein, which are the repair and maintenance of your muscle tissue, you're going to break down lean muscle. So if we take Ozempic as a classic example, when people lose weight on Ozempic, they lose 2/3 of lean muscle tissue. Right now, well, let me tell you why that's a bad thing. Because if you lose lean muscle through the process of your caloric deficit, then ultimately what happens is you are slowing your resting metabolism. Your basal metabolic rate, the thing that keeps the lights on with you doing absolutely jack all, decreases. So think of it this way, really simple analogy. If you have a pound of fat on your body, it burns about 2 calories at rest. If you have a pound of lean muscle, it burns about 10 calories at rest. So if you take your body from 180 pounds to 160, let's say, and 10 pounds of that is from lean muscle, then ultimately you've slowed your body down by up to 100 calories a day. Now that might not sound a lot on the grand scheme of things, but the reality is if you've done a crash diet that takes you to extreme lows, what happens when you arrive at the desired goal? You generally are going to return back to old habits that took you there because it's not sustainable through the process. So my recommendation is this: strength training, absolutely critical, right? So doing something that uses the muscles to make sure you're signaling to the body to keep hold of that stuff. Number 2 is make sure you're getting enough protein in your diet. And I would recommend a 0.7 grams per pound of body weight as a minimum for those that are strength training. And number 3 is making sure you're protecting it with the right amount of sleep to repair the damage that you're doing through the strength training and utilize the building material that you're putting in the body. And finally, stop doing fad diets that are going to cause you to have a negative effect on the long-term gain. The result is, guys, if you can't do this forever, whatever you're doing is the chosen diet, then my question is to you is, what is maintenance going to look like when you arrive? What is it that you've learned through the process? Because when things start to go astray, typically people quit. And my recommendation is to incorporate the things you love and embrace the journey and understand that there's always going to be a Christmas, a birthday, a wedding, a holiday, and the list goes on. And if you haven't got enjoyment and fun in the equation of healthy eating, let's call it what it is, then ultimately you're going to want to quit. And if these tactics of what you're using are depriving yourself of essential macronutrients, protein and fats, your hormones are going to be fucked. Your lean muscle tissue is going to decrease and you're going to feel like crap. So let's get back to basics. Whole food, slight caloric deficit if the goal is fat loss, strength training, hydration, stress management, sleep, the list goes on. Build a body that you are proud of and build the habits that create consistency and the discipline to continue beyond a 30, 60, 90-day sprint. If this message resonates with you, smash the share button and pay it forward. Have an amazing day.